Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Two Shonen podcast. I'm here with my boy Hamza,
What's up?
and we just wanted to have a discussion about the old gen versus the new gen.
So what is better, old gen or new gen?
Well, first, you kind of have to talk about what is considered new gen because that can be a very wide or narrow spectrum of anime.
In my head, I always thought like new gen really started, or for me, like I really sense a new generation of like anime fans, like new generation of anime um when like My Hero started, when Attack on Titan came on the scene, when Sword Art Online came on the scene, because Sword Art Online low key started like all these isekai shows, like transported to another world and all that. And then My Hero like replaced Naruto.
It was like right after Shippuden, right?
It was like right after Shippuden, yeah, or like right after the manga ended.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, this is like the new Naruto, the new like big shonen. Because I think around that time, so like the big three. I mean, One Piece has always been there, but like Bleach and Naruto, they ended.
Mm-hmm.
So then now it's like now I feel like once Bleach and Naruto ended, that's when a whole new set of like anime came about. And even just like in general, if you see all these genres from like the mid 2000s, late 90s, mid 2000s, like even like late 2000s to like now, it's like you can feel the difference. Like romance, like early romance, way different. Like Oron High School, Clannad, Chobits, Fruits Basket, they're way different than stuff like now. And like that's a lot of the shonen's way different than now. Like maybe back then, when you were gonna watch an anime, you were ready to watch like 150 episodes, 200 episodes, like because that's just how it was.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just like now you wait
25
24. All right, we gotta wait a year, because like so I mean I feel like both like old gen versus new gen. I feel like both have their pros and cons. Like I feel like with old gen stuff, a lot of the ideas were fresher, you know. So that's where all the classics are. So you can watch an anime from old gen and be like, damn, like that was really good, you know. New gen, I feel like while like, animation looks better, pacing's better.
A lot better.
But I feel like sometimes a lot of authors or a lot of writers, they run out of ideas. I was like, oh, this is like that show. This is like that show. They borrowed this from that. They borrowed this from that. Now, granted, your show you can have cliche things. You can have like borrowed ideas as long as you pull it off well. But like example, My Hero. Every time I watch My Hero, I'm just like, bro, I could just be like rewatching Naruto right now, because that's how it feels like. Like when you remember when All Might went up against All for One.
Yeah.
That was basically like third Hokage versus Orochimaru shit, and I like that fight better than.
Yeah, no, I feel that. There's a lot of pros. The reason, like, kind of why, well, besides the fact that I didn't grow up watching anime like you did.
Yeah, and I did, bro.
It's like the new gen, like, what I like about them is the animation is just, like, absolutely stunning. Now, granted, there are a few exceptions to that. So, like, Naruto actually had really good animation. Like, for example, the first Naruto and Sasuke fight, I think that animation was really good, especially for its time. Also, you can talk about, like, Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball was, like, one of those first ones to have, like, good animation, which, like, at that time was, like, kind of unheard of. It was very different.
Mm-hmm.
And there's that. There's also, I feel like soundtracks are more, kind of get better as, like, the new gen happens. Also, pacing. The pacing is, like, it's kind of, like, iffy for me because some of it can be, like, slow. Like, what's a good example of it being slow? I feel like... Okay, alright, okay.
Okay.
Snafu wasn't that
different discussion.
Slow, but...
Different discussion.
Different discussion. There are some animes that are kind of slow. Like, for me personally, Boruto was, like, really slow.
Boruto is so slow.
It was really slow from the beginning. Besides the fact that it's like 85% filler. Oh my god.
Dude, I remember people used to give shit for like Bleach and Naruto because I forgot what the percentage was, but I think Bleach was like 44% filler or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Boruto's 85%.
I try to defend it so much. Like, it's one of those, like, new gen animes that I actually still consistently watch every week. I don't think it's the best, but it's like one of my ones up there. But like yes, dude, it's pacing is not the greatest, and besides the fact that like it's 85% filler, that's like probably the worst part for me. And I don't think a lot of new gens have that much filler. Like My Hero maybe has like maybe 2 or 3.
Hunter x Hunter has no filler.
Are we counting it as new gen?
Yes, because I mean technically Hunter x Hunter has.
I mean, it is a
old
reboot.
anime.
I mean, it
and
is
it's
a reboot. Yeah,
Right. I would say anything 2010 after is new
2010
gen.
is okay.
But when we really talk about new gen, we're talking about a lot of the recent stuff. So like
Jujutsu Kaisen, Black Clover,
Black Clover,
Demon Slayer.
like is Golden Time, is that new?
Yeah,
it came out,
Golden
like,
Time was like
recently.
2017, I think.
Okay, yeah. And then like friend Rent a Girlfriend and shit like that.
Rent a
But
Girl.
like, well yeah. So I mean, so you can tell like all these new animes, like their pacing's like a lot tighter. But this is something that I was thinking about. I feel like old gen anime, they weren't afraid to like push the boundaries on stuff. You know, I feel like they weren't like constricted to like go dark, or like like have like these really like deep like messages and like have these like really like um insane themes and moments. So stuff like Cowboy Bebop and Ghost in the Shell, Evangelion, Samurai Champloo, like Trigun. I would say, like, in the movie, like, you ever heard of the movie Akira?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like these old shows, they don't have like any filter. They don't have rules to follow. But I feel like these new shows, it feels like that they have to follow like a guideline, like a rule book.
I feel the same
right?
way.
Because I feel like a lot of these shows, they could go like way harder on a lot of the subject matter that they handle, but they just don't do it, and they always just like go for like the safe route.
I think like the perfect example for that for me is My Hero. I feel like My Hero doesn't really go to the extreme. I feel like it really plays the safe game, and I like My Hero. I think it's a good anime / manga, but it has its potential. If their writers were to actually take a risk, I feel like it would be a lot. Like it could go somewhere, and it could really be out there.
But like I feel like something else I can bring up is Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer. So, like relatively they are kind of dark, right? Especially Jujutsu Kaisen. I feel like Jujutsu Kaisen is dark. But I feel like if those shows came out in like 2003, 2004, they would be fucked up. Like they would go like crazy. I feel like there'd be a lot more deaths, like a lot more like crazy stuff, like freaking stuff like drug abuse, actual abuse, like all kinds of stuff. Especially in the '90s. In the '90s, they just a lot of anime just didn't have any filter like that. So, cause I'll be like reading Jujutsu Kaisen, right? And something serious would happen, but then like they would just play it off and like a comedic moment will happen like right after. And I'm just like, they're not really letting the weight of the moment settle in, because I feel like maybe now, like they're afraid to go too dark or something like that.
I get what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Because I feel like
you've seen Demon Slayer, right?
Yeah.
How many times were you annoyed by like Zenitsu?
Oh my god.
Cracking a joke.
Oh my god.
And you're like, dude, stop cracking a joke. This is not the time to be cracking jokes right now.
I think Zenitsu in general is like one of the characters that I absolutely just don't like, and I can't get along with at all. He's very annoying, like very annoying, and he kind of ruins Demon Slayer for me.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. There's like when there's like always a dark moment. He's always like, it'll be like something super dark and messed up, and it'll kind of just like pan over to Zenitsu, and he's always just like complaining or bitching about something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's supposed to be funny, but like you don't really feel the dark essence, which is why I like kind of like the older animes in that sense, because like even if we're talking about just shonen, like I guess we can just bring this back to Naruto, like Konoha Crush had some dark moments, I feel like, just a little bit, And then also like
Right. But like in Naruto, right? A lot of the comedic moments they never like interfered with the serious stuff. Like when Naruto went serious, it was serious. Like the whole it committed,
yeah,
right? Like and it didn't really like let the comedic moments like, they they had a time and place. I feel like now like everything has to be comedic.
and there has to be a funny aspect because
Yeah, like a funny character.
I think a reason for that is because times are a lot different now than they were back then. I feel like you could have dark moments like that, and because shonen technically is the target audience for what is it for like teenagers, right? So I feel like they have to put those comedic moments in there. I feel like they're like obligated to because those are the things that keep like that shonen age range going. But when I was little, and when like shows like we could even put Death Note in there. Really, I know it's like a little bit above shonen, but like in those essences, they were allowed to have dark moments, and because it appealed to teenagers at that time. It's not something you really get anymore with shonen.
I would say like the closest thing we've had to like a Death Note would be like Promise Neverland, but we all know what happened to the anime for that one.
Oh,
Like,
season two,
yeah.
2.
Hit the shitter. But even then, I feel like Promise Neverland, if it would be better if they weren't like 12.
I didn't.
Or if they were
I
like-
didn't watch.
Oh, you haven't
No,
Okay.
because season 2 was so bad, and that's all I heard. I never.
seen it? You could just watch season 1 and then read the manga from then on.
I heard they changed a lot of things up.
There's only like 100 and whatever chapters, so it's relatively short, yeah.
That's good. I'm actually like starting to like a lot of the shorter new gen stuff, like manga wise. Have you? Well, I don't really.
Also, like, here's one thing. Back then, a season of anime, there weren't that much. Maybe there was like 12, 15 anime like that would come out in a season, right? So it was possible to like see everything that was going on. Now there's like 30 anime in one season. It's
trying
so hard.
to keep up.
You can't keep track of
Oh,
everything.
dude. It's like I'm still catching up on like summer and spring anime, and it's like it's fall. Like I don't know. I'm still watching The Detective's Already Dead,
Mhm.
and I know it's still coming out weekly, but like started in the summer and it's fall, so it's a little
Wait,
annoying.
Detective what?
The Detective Is Already Dead.
What is it? I've never even heard of it.
It's pretty much like this detective. Uh, like there's a scene on a plane. There's like something happens on a plane. The plane gets hijacked, and it's pretty much this detective is sitting next to this like regular dude, and then the detective recruits like this regular dude, and then they become like detective like partners in crime, right? But like pretty much after the first like episode, you find out that the main detective is like dead, and so it reflects on the stories of Siesta, which is like the name of the detective, and the boy, and then it also like shows like what he does after she dies. So like investigating the spes and all that. And so I mean it's okay. I know a lot of people dropped it, but I just found it really interesting, and it was also something that it's a genre I haven't really explored into yet, like investigation and crime and stuff.
Because back then it was so much easier. I feel like every year or every season back then, there was a clear like, oh, this is like really fucking good. Right now, I feel like it's so hard for anime to stand out because so many people are like running out of ideas. Like like I try to watch that stupid that one show, Girlfriend. Have you
I
heard of
haven't.
that one?
I want to watch it, but I haven't.
Yeah, it's some of the stupidest shit I've heard. I was like, this is just like, this is just running out of ideas, bro. Cause this is just running like there's nothing here. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, I guess it's like this has been done. Like this hasn't been done before. I'm just like, okay, it's just the same tropes, but instead of one girl, it's like three girls. I'm like, all right, okay, cool.
It's pretty much his own harem.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is now.
And I'm just like, yeah. It basically instead of it just being like a guy who just has a harem. He just has to have like a relationship with all of them, and then they're all like fighting for him. It's like this is literally the same thing, and I dropped it. I was like, this is too stupid. And then, so yeah, it's so hard to find something fresh in today's landscape.
I think that's why Tokyo Revengers. I am sure you've heard of Tokyo.
I mean,
Revengers.
yeah, I haven't seen it though. I do want. I'm gonna watch it.
I mean, I was keeping up with it week to week, and then for some reason I stopped. I don't really know why, but Tokyo Revengers is like one of those ones that stands out, and that's why everybody likes it so much. Because it's not necessarily a story that you hear often. It's like I heard somebody describe it as an isekai, but done really really well. It's not an isekai in the
It's not
sense
an
of like.
isekai. It's like
I guess you could really
Erased,
kind of like Erased. You can call it that.
but like with gangs.
With gangs and kids with no parents, yeah.
Yeah, and
Essentially, but that's why everybody loves it so much because it's something different and it brings something new that a lot of people haven't seen before.
but aren't you just tired of like these stories where 12-year-olds are acting like full grown adults? I'm just like, dude, it's not realistic. Like if you're gonna have them talk like adults, just make them like 18.
Yeah,
Just-
but when has anime ever been realistic?
Bro, I can name a
I
lot
mean,
of shit.
Well,
And a little bit like believable. You know, like there's a difference between having a fake story with like magic powers and stuff like that, and like traveling through time and stuff like that. There's a difference between like it being fiction and it being like believable. It's like, oh, I can get into this. I can believe in this because in a normal situation, that's how it would be like. You know, bro. When are 12-year-old kids like their own fucking like ringleaders?
that's what I said
It doesn't
earlier.
make
That's why I
sense.
was like. That's why I was like, they're kids with no parents because like you don't like pretty much ever see their parents ever.
Well, yeah, but like you've like a lot of us read Lord of the Flies or whatever it's called in high school.
Lord of the
but-
Flies.
Yeah,
yes.
Lord of the Flies, but you could still believe that they were kids because their
They had
dialogue.
kid tendencies.
They
Yeah.
had kid tendencies. I feel like just any time the main character is like 12 or 13 or 14, it's just like they try to make them act like adults. This is what I'm saying. Like
Isn't the main character in JoJo only like 17 or something? 17.
they're all like
18?
adults, yeah. I mean, they're all like they. I mean, so Jonathan I think is like 18. So there's a difference.
Well, no, but I mean in more of the sense of like kind of just what you're saying, just like an older because like when I
older characters.
yeah no
Yeah.
but like when I look at JoJo and I look at JoJo's characters, like when I look at that main character, like I really would have thought he was at least in his late 20s. Like just to me personally, like from the pictures and clips that I've seen.
Oh yeah, that's just like a.
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
I mean, JoJo's different because when JoJo was written, it was written in the 80s. So like the
What?
style, JoJo like part 1, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Yeah, JoJo was written in 1987, 88.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it started then and it's still going on now. So, but like back then when it was written, a lot of the mangas that were popular were like really beef burly guys. So, have you ever heard of Fist of the North Star? No, that's basically so. Fist of the North Star is like it's an 80s manga or 80s anime and manga. So, the main guy is like really buff, and that's basically who Jonathan is based off of.
Oh.
So it's just the style. It was just like the art style. But I mean like I feel like if they're like in the 17, 18, 19 range and they start like, acting like adults and stuff, that makes sense because they are adults. But when the characters are like that's what I was talking about Promise Neverland. Like it's good. Like the tension's high, but it just takes me like a little bit out of it because the kids are like 10 years old, 12 years old. I'm just like, these kids are talking like they're 20. And I'm just like, alright, and like, it's kind of hard to believe. And they're making like intellectual, like big brain decisions and stuff. I'm like, bro, like you're 10. like damn.
I think JJK kind of does exactly what you're talking about. I mean, they are a little older, but then you have like you have Gojo, who he's a teacher. He's pretty serious.
Usually
But
he acts like a high schooler though.
Well, yes, but he does have some. He does have some of those like moments, I guess, where like if I were to put it myself in in a situation where I had to sacrifice something, like 3 or 4 years ago when I was in high school, I mean I probably wouldn't do it, but he was willing to give himself or give in to Sukuna, right, to save Megami, like in like the very first couple of episodes. I don't know if you remember when he's facing
Oh yeah, when he's facing
the S grade.
yeah.
So I mean, if it was me, I wouldn't.
That's
have,
like his character though. I want to say like I believed it because that's how his character is. You know what I mean?
But like, well, okay, I guess you could say that because
it fit him. I mean, but also he was like what, a junior, senior in high school or something, or he's sophomore.
he's sophomore. Yeah.
Sophomore. It's still, but he's still not like 10 or 12.
Okay,
see what I
that's a
mean?
fair point.
Yeah.
You know what does, like kind of more along the lines of that subject, I guess. How old is Tanjiro in Demon Slayer? Because I genuinely have no clue. He doesn't seem too old, but he does make a lot of. He's very family oriented.
I think he's 15.
For someone who's 15, like he's pretty family oriented. I would say so. I mean, he would go.
He's 13 in episode 1, and by the time episode 3 comes about, he's 15.
Okay.
Remember, just like a 2-year gap.
Yeah, because of his training arc.
Yeah, well, which makes sense. I feel like in episode 1, I believe that he was like 13. I kind of believed it because he was like the kid who like did chores for his family and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
He was the oldest. I kind of believed it, and then he had to like train, and then he got tested for the Demon Slayer course at like 15.
Mm-hmm.
But if he if I don't know how Demon Slayer ends, but if he beats like Muzan at and he's still 15, I'm just like, that's cap. I don't believe that. How old was Naruto when he beat Kaguya? When he
was like 16 or 17.
17.
I mean, Boruto's like 12 or 13, and he beat Momoshiki
at 12.
At like 12 or 13. Well, granted, I mean it was like he landed the last big hit, but I mean, like even still, like when he went up against Deepa, which is like somebody who I'm pretty sure that's canon, but he's like really strong. Like you could even say he was like above Akatsuki level strong. Like I don't know if you've watched how far into it you've watched, but he was even able to beat Deepa. I mean, it was of course with like the help of Team 7, but like granted they're all like 12 or 13. I think that is something that new gen like does differently than old gen. I feel like if I hate that we have to keep coming back to Naruto, but like Naruto, like as a kid, like 11, 12, like
I believed it because he was like running around. Like,
he was
on the whole
he was like a dumb, stubborn kid.
Yeah. And then 3 years pass.
And then he
15.
he matures a lot.
And then I think a year passes, and by the time he meets his mom. Oh, spoilers by the way. By the time he meets his mom, I think it was his birthday. Remember, it was like happy birthday, Naruto.
The day of the war arc was his birthday, or the day of the war was his birthday.
I think when he gets married to Hinata, it's like he's 17 or 18. Day of the war arc was his birthday, and then another year passes when he
because of the Konoha. Yeah, okay.
So he's like 17, 18, which makes sense for that time period.
I mean, yeah, but what like
people were getting married.
Kind of what we're saying is like it makes sense though, like the way he acted throughout the different years of his life, it made sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's different like in new gen nowadays because I feel like they're trying to mature these young kids like so quickly, and in reality it's not too realistic.
Yeah, I mean like with Demon Slayer, it kind of makes sense. Like it was like what 1920 something, 1930 something back then. People were getting married at like 16, 17, 18. So you had to like mature quick.
Also, that one guy, I have no idea what his name is, but
Kamioto or some shit? Demon Slayer?
Yeah, he's one of the Hashiras. You know he has like
the black hair.
no. It's the guy who's gonna be coming up in the entertainment district arc. You know he has like 2 or 3 wives.
Really? He really said.
No, he really
following
does.
Sharia law, bro.
No, I know. Like I was looking at the poster. And he just it was like 2. I was like, who are these women? I was like, they're wives. I was like, damn, what a guy. But
Right. I think we got hella off topic.
we did. But I mean, it's still along the same points. I guess I would say one thing that old gen definitely does better than new gen. I mean, we could talk about being original. I think that's a good one.
Yeah, old gen was like I feel like way more original. It was way easier for a. Well, then again, we weren't like there when they were like being written and coming out.
Of course.
Not even like me. Like I got into anime like when these older animes were like well established. But that's why that's what like in Shonen Jump, right? All these mangas, they given like chances, and then if they're not doing well, they just get axed, right? Because you gotta like stand out. So I guess there's like to a point, there's some way of a formula you have to follow. But I feel like recently, especially with Shonen, My Hero, Black Clover, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen. This is like the spawn of like Naruto's.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I was like,
they all labeled the idea of like the main character with a demon inside of him.
And then like all the comments.
It's literally it's like a whole bunch of different versions of that. My Hero does that. I guess you could say it was a little bit differently, but he still has to like master all the quirks and stuff, which is more or less kind of the same thing. But the thing is that they don't like have their own personality.
But here's My Hero is the same thing, and then you add the multiple quirk stuff, and then that's just like another anime. I forgot. Fuck. What was that one where he just had like multiple powers and stuff? Anyway,
I have no idea.
I forgot. Well, like I mean, you just give examples like in JJK, 3-man team, 2 guys, 1 girl. Okay, that's straight up. And all these copies are like, all these comments are gonna be like, what are you talking about, bro? It's definitely not a copy. I'm like, dude, like, you can say it's not a copy, but it's definitely the template. I feel like the 2 biggest copycats are Black Clover and My Hero.
Black Clover and My Hero, not JJK?
No. I feel like JJK is pretty fresh. No, it's like a mix between Hunter x Hunter and Naruto, but like Black Clover and My Hero are the biggest, two biggest copycats.
I can't say anything for Black Clover because I haven't seen it, but My Hero, yes. My Hero feels like.
Oh, Black Clover is literally like Asta is basically Naruto.
Instead of the Hokage, it's
like the underdog story. JJK is different because it's like he's like overpowered from the beginning. But,
yes, because he has those like crazy ass abilities.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's why I like JJK is because he's like, they acknowledge like, oh, he's overpowered. That's why he can handle Sukuna. So the whole thing is like Yuji's whole thing is that he's overpowered in strength, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, My Hero and Black Clover, like Asta and Deku, they're both like, like so whiny in the beginning. They're like, they're all trying to be number 1 hero and stuff like that. But JJK, like Yuji, he just, what's his goal? He just
he wants to live.
He just wants to live. He wants to have a proper death. Yeah.
A proper death.
Yeah, yes. That I feel like that's a good premise. But it also leaves like the story very open ended, you know. So you don't know that there's gonna be a clear ending. Like One Piece and Bleach, or not Bleach, One Piece and Naruto, it's like Pirate King, Hokage. And then My Hero, Black Clover is like, I want to be the Wizard King.
I want to be the greatest hero.
I want to be the number 1 hero. Demon Slayer is I want to protect my sisters. Like that's something still new, but still there's like you got your
it's
serious
new,
guy, you got your funny guy, and then you got your like troublemaker, and then you know.
I kind of wanted to go into that too. How do you feel? Do you feel like new gen does side characters different than old gen, or do you feel like it's still kind of the same template? Because I feel like
the same template, but I feel like side characters now they're starting to add more like, you know, a little bit of flavor.
because I have to say like while like I haven't watched One Piece, but I'm sure the side characters are pretty good. But like
so the One Piece's side characters are so good.
I feel like even shows like Bleach and I mean from what I know of Bleach, you have Naruto has really good side characters, Dragon Ball has really good side characters. Uh,
To an extent,
to
yeah.
to a point.
Not as I feel like Dragon Ball. Why like I do love Dragon Ball quite a bit. Side characters are not the main point. It's always just like the Saiyans.
Just saying.
It's the focus is on the Saiyans.
I feel like they were really good characters. I feel like the new gen does them like pretty well too. Like what I mean by that is while you have like side characters like Inosuke and Zenitsu, or like kind of like your run of the mill, like you have one troublemaker and you have like one like whiny or one whatever. I feel like
Inosuke and Zenitsu, you could write them out in Demon Slayer, and I feel like there wouldn't be that much of a difference in terms of like the overall plot. You know,
I know they play a bigger part like in the manga, but I mean,
later on, but
like in the anime, I
but,
guess yeah.
Like look, these first two, season one, and the
Mugen Train.
and the Mugen Train, like plot relevance wise, it's all just about the Hashiras and the villains and Tanjiro.
And the upper and lower moons, yeah, yeah.
Like you compare it to Jujutsu Kaisen, and
I was gonna talk about
and
that.
I feel like all three of them they have way more plot relevance than Demon Slayer's.
I like their backstories also a
Yeah.
lot more. And I feel like the one thing that Jujutsu Kaisen does really well, not only is it like the backstories, but like I guess just the amount of depth they have. Like I don't really like I'm gonna be honest, I really don't remember too much of like Nobara and Fushiguro's like backstory. But like
you don't?
I mean, it's because like I watched JJK like when it was still airing, and
I
didn't
still
pick,
remember.
yeah, I just didn't pick up on it. But I just remember like watching it and like noticing how their character was like changing from how they used to be. Like I don't know if you did you watch all the first season?
Of JHK? Yeah. I'm on the manga. I'm like halfway through.
So like you know when Megumi was like pinned up against the wall against the S grade, and he's like at one point he's like, oh, to hell with it, you know, like that, this, and then like his dialogue, it was a big shift in his character. I feel like those big shifts don't happen nearly as much as they used to, which is something that JJK does so great. But you don't see that in things like I don't really think you see it in My Hero too much, and you definitely don't see it in Demon Slayer. Definitely not. I feel but that's something you see a lot in old gen. I feel like the side characters like they both both old gen and new gen do side characters well, but like in terms of depth and writing, I feel like it does go to old gen just because not only did they have to be more original about it, but kind of like what we discussed earlier, they they weren't confined by the walls of like being safe and not going to the extreme. So I feel like that definitely does help a lot.
Yeah.
The only really like kind of category I can like the only anime I can put kind of in that category really is JJK for me. I mean I haven't watched Black Clover, I haven't watched Mob Psycho, but from what I know, it's like they don't still like
Yeah.
the side characters don't compare.
So with new gen, it's just a lot harder to be original, right? Cause it's like almost we've seen almost every idea in the book. That's why I think when Chainsaw Man comes out, the anime for Chainsaw Man is gonna blow up like crazy because a lot of people have been saying that Chainsaw Man is quite fresh, and like a lot of people who've read the manga, it's quite fresh and it's doesn't really you can't really compare it to a lot of stuff out there. So I think that when Chainsaw Man comes out, it's gonna blow up quite a bit. It's gonna be like the new anime, the new anime that like everyone's talking about.
It's also being animated by Mappa, so
By Mappa too.
that's gonna be one of those ones. I remember I was in Chicago for a wedding and the trailer dropped and I watched the trailer and I was like, whoa, It was some crazy stuff. I've heard about Chainsaw
And
Man like a little bit.
so like I think next year we're gonna get the last season of Attack on Titan, the second season of Jujutsu Kaisen. We're getting the Jujutsu Kaisen movie.
I think the movie comes out this year.
Oh, this year.
I think in December.
And then when is in December are we also getting Attack on Titan?
They said in the winter, so that could mean December to January, but I think it's probably gonna be January, cause when did AOT end? AOT ended in
February or something.
February or March, something like that, right? And
it was like 16 episodes.
That's like not even a lot of time for them to animate and stuff. So I just hope, I'm kind of hoping they push it back a little bit, just cause I don't know if you.
I want that animation.
You read the manga? You finished it?
I finished it.
Yeah, I want that to be animated so well, cause that last scene, I'm not gonna go into detail, but like that last scene, if they animate it exactly how it should be, it like one of the greatest like ending battles, fights, like to go down like in history. And I kind of say that term really lightly, but like truly I feel like that moment or that entire fight battle in like all together could really have that chance. But the thing is that I've heard a lot of things like Mappa like overworks like their workers like crazy, and like they've had a lot of controversy behind them, which sucks because not only are they being rushed, they're also overworking them, and you know it just becomes like this whole thing. And then you get a lot of people who talk about like, oh well, you should have given Mappa more time, or you shouldn't have overworked your workers. But like, they're trying to appeal to the people like as fast as they can.
Yeah. So I guess like, just in general, when we're talking about like new generation of anime, just the volume of anime out there is just so much more.
It is a lot more.
It's so much more. So it's like hard to stand out, and then it's just so hard to keep up with everything, and like what else? So when we're comparing the two, so pacing's better, right?
Pacing's better. Wait, are we talking about old gen or
new gen?
New gen.
So I feel like most things now are like, I feel like so I have a theory. I feel like some of these animes that are coming out recently that we don't really talk about, if you put them back then, I feel like they would get way more spotlight. But I feel like now that most things are like a 7, 8 out of 10, that a good anime could be like underrated or like put like not on the radar at all, because like our standards are higher now.
A lot higher now.
Our standards are a lot higher now. That's why for me, like, it's kind of fucked up. Like me, if I'm gonna like read a new manga, or if I'm gonna like watch a new anime, I need it to. And I don't know, some people are gonna be like, oh, why don't you just like watch it for yourself or read it for yourself and just create your own opinion about it? But I need it to like everyone to talk good about it. I can't just have one person come to be like, oh yeah, it's good, check it out. I need to be like, it's fantastic, it's a masterpiece, it's fucking amazing. If I need to hear like those words, and then I'll check it out. And I need that to be confirmed by multiple people. Because if it's not, like, I don't want to check out anything that's mid, you know? Because that's like, if something's mid, if something's mid,
the word mid in general.
Yeah, and that's something like that's came out recent. Because like back then, nobody was ever saying like anything mid.
We could really have a whole video about the word mid, like if we're being honest, because there's a lot of things we talk about, like specifically just with the word mid. It's a lot, but I get what you're saying. I'm the complete opposite though. My watch list is literally filled with tons of anime.
Well, yeah, because you're newer.
Well, that, and then also like I kind of just take like the people who've been watching anime longer than me. I kind of just take their word for a lot of things, and most of the time they are right. Sometimes they are a little wrong. Like
it's because I mean, like how we grew up. Like I think I've been watching anime for about, I want to say like 12, 13 years, right? So that's a really long fucking time, and when I've been seeing a lot of shit, and like new like animes that have come out that people like who aren't really anime fans, they get on on it, but oh, this is so good that I watched it. I was like, it's whatever. Like Sword Art Online, it was like when people got on the show, I'm like, okay, what's the hype? I don't get it. Yeah, because
I liked season 1. That was pretty much it.
when you look into it with fresh eyes, you go back with like a 2021 brain, and there's a lot of flaws even with season 1, bro. This is it's some cringe anime shit. But anyways, I forgot where I was going. But
we were comparing
it's like the mindset a new anime watcher is gonna have is gonna be way different than like an old anime watcher, because for somebody like when they watch something new, it's gonna like somebody who's never seen Naruto, they're gonna watch My Hero, thinks that's the greatest thing ever, because I mean it is pretty solid, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for somebody who's watched like a lot of the old stuff, Naruto and Dragon Ball, they can watch something like My Hero and be like, alright, yeah, like what's new? It's friendly, like this is not that serious, like the story's not that good.
It's the same stuff that you've seen over and over again. Yeah, I guess your standards are probably a lot higher than mine.
Yeah, my standards are just so high, like, and that's why I moved on to the seinen manga, right? Because I'm older now. For me, shonen is like that's why I like watching older shonens compared to new shonens. But I always keep up. Like anytime I like, I'll shit on My Hero, but I'll still keep up with it. I'm caught up with the manga. But yeah, my standards are very high, and they didn't used to be. There used to be like I remember being like an old ass anime fan. Everything you watched was just so good. Like I was like, oh, I'm so like into it was so hard to call an anime bad back in the day.
Dude, that's how I am now.
And then
really.
when I used to call an anime bad, everyone was like, "Oh, this anime is good." I used to call it bad because like when I didn't understand it, But now, I'm like confident when I call something bad. It's like fuck this, like this is shit. Like the other anime do it way better.
So my first ever like anime was like Naruto, right? And I watched Naruto it took me a while. It took me 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
I fully caught up within like up to Boruto in 7 months. But the first thing I watched after Naruto was Bunny Girl Senpai. I don't know if you liked Bunny Girl Senpai or not, but the point that I'm really trying to make here is like after I watched Bunny Girl Senpai, a lot of people don't like it and think it's stupidly
I haven't seen the movie, but I saw the first season.
Movie was so good.
I saw the first season and I was like, it started off so strong. I was like, it started off like a 10 out of 10, and then by the time it ended, I was like, it's like probably like an 8. Like the ending, like, cause like it has multiple stories and like, right? It's like I think it's 3 stories.
Yeah, it's like 2 or 3. Yeah.
2 or 3 stories. So the first story was so good. I was like, that was one of the best. Like, that I've seen it. And then I think the last one I wasn't like a fan of.
The last one.
It was solid.
The last one hurt me emotionally. Like that was.
Was that the one with the sister?
Yeah. That one hurt, bro. Like, cause.
It was okay. No. It was. The one. So the first one with him and her.
And then you have the Laplace demon.
Then what about with his sister?
No.
With her sister, her like adopted sister, or stepsister. Or whatever.
No. So you have her. You have Mai, and Sakata, right? And then you have Sakata, and I believe her name is Koga. The Laplace demon. Remember, like, he keeps reliving the same day over and over again?
Oh, yeah.
So you have that one. Then you have Futaba and her split personality. And then you have her and her sister switch bodies. And then the last one you have is her sister.
Okay, so there's 5.
Yeah, 5. And then you have the movie. The movie was great.
Yeah, I got spoiled on it.
Oh, that's tough. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is, like, after like only watching one anime, all the animes I watched pretty much after that, because there was a span of time. You're always comparing. Well, that, but also I really thought that like all of them were good. Like I watched Rent a Girlfriend. I watched Domestic Girlfriend. I like, even though Domestic Girlfriend is super weird, right? I still enjoyed it, but I feel like if you were to watch it, like even right now, like you're telling me, like
I read the whole manga because I was just like. Rent a Girlfriend's so stupid because it's just like...
Wait, Rent a Girlfriend or Domestic Girlfriend?
Oh, Domestic Girlfriend.
Okay.
So stupid because, like... I do give it credit for, like, hooking you. It's like, it grabs you by the balls.
Dude, it really does.
It grabs you by the balls.
Really does.
but also like it's so retarded.
No, it is. It like it
It's-
truly like the plot in itself
It's
is
so
really.
cancer.
It's really
it's just like-
stupid.
But it's like this. It's a cancer that you want to see like through the end.
Like stage 4,
It's like
stage
it's like a
5
guilty
type shit.
pleasure. It's like it's like it's so bad that you're just like, how bad can this get?
Oh no,
trash
dude,
can this
no, like
And
it
I read
was,
the manga and we got pretty trashed. Like got
like
really.
it was
trashed.
just, like I just found it so good, and a lot of people disagreed with me, but it might have been just because like I was on like my second wind, because after finishing Naruto, I was like, okay, let's finally watch some stuff that I've been wanting to watch, because like going on TikTok and stuff, you see all these animes that you don't know about, and you're like, oh, intrigued.
And there's a lot of, and even in terms of like really really good anime, there's a lot of really really good anime. It's hard to keep up.
It is hard to keep up.
You can't watch everything.
I think when I finally realized that anime started being bad, and that I didn't like, one was probably like when I realized that anime is like not every anime is good. Honestly, it was like Sword Art Online. It was really either that or let's see, probably Love is War. That was the first anime I ever dropped. Truly.
All right, let's make a deal. If I stick through and watch all of Snafu, then you guys stick through and watch all of Love is War.
On camera. We shake it on camera.
Shaking.
Shake it on camera.
And then we can have a debate.
We can have a debate about it. That's fine. I can do that. But yeah, that was really the first one that I ever dropped. I think Old Gen holds this kind of reputation, and like, kind of like what you said earlier. Like
Have you seen
everyone just,
Parasite?
No, it's a Korean show, right?
No,
Am I thinking of something else?
Parasite's the Korean movie, but I'm talking about the anime.
No.
Okay. Well, see, keep going. I'll tell you later.
Okay, so like kind of what you were saying earlier, like Dragon Ball and Naruto and like Bleach, like everything gets compared to those nowadays, and I feel like it's because
And Bleach is coming back.
Bleach is coming back.
So
Bleach is coming
those
back.
comparisons are only gonna keep
going. Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear all of them. But pretty much,
Bro, dude. I just realized
what?
that when Bleach comes back, then Boruto's gonna be airing, Bleach is gonna be airing, and One Piece is gonna be airing. So it's gonna be the big three coming back.
Oh my god, I wouldn't really call it the big three for real, but I don't even know if Boruto's gonna be airing then. Either that or it's just gonna be a shit ton of filler.
Isn't Boruto manga done?
No.
Alright, then it's just.
Well,
gonna keep
but like
airing.
it's just at a weird place in the manga right now. So like,
It's not like it's on hiatus, right?
no.
And Boruto keeps airing every week.
Yeah.
Alright, and Bleach is coming soon, right?
Okay. All right. Okay.
So-
Okay.
So
Okay.
Boruto, Bleach,
Okay,
and One Piece.
I guess
And I think Dragon Ball Super is still being written or some shit like that.
something. I don't
So
know.
Dragon Ball, Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece are still going on.
That's so crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's been, I don't know if Dragon
been
Ball
like-
came out, but I know Naruto came out 19 years ago, a couple days ago. So the fact that it's been
Naruto came out?
yeah, Naruto
Naruto
aired. Sorry, Naruto aired 19 years ago, a couple days.
Yeah,
ago.
because the manga's as old as me. Manga's been around since like 99.
Damn, bro. That's crazy to think about.
One Piece manga's been around since 97 and anime aired in 99.
It's kind of crazy to think about like those mangas being out before like the 2000s were even a thing, and then you have like animes like JJK and like My Hero and like Boruto that are being like written out and drawn like currently. It's kind of crazy to think about.
You know,
really.
My Hero's probably gonna end soon in the manga.
I remember we talked about this.
Yeah, so bro, I think My Hero. It's crazy how My Hero is gonna start and end while One Piece is still in his post time skip like arc.
That's one of those old gens that I don't really like. I consider both a new and old gen. I would call
What?
it both. One Piece. It's been through both timelines.
Oh, it's been through so many generations. Yeah.
So many generations, and it's like they even have like updated animation and all that. So It could be counted as both. I can kind of see it as both. That's kind of how I feel about. Well, no. I was gonna say AOT, but then we said everything after 2010, right? So, AOT aired in 2013.
AOT feels like it's like old because it's basically a classic at this point, but it's like a modern classic.
Modern classic. That's a good way to. It's a good way to.
Yeah. So you want to conclude this? So
I guess.
put our
So.
thoughts. So if you had to if gun to your head, old anime or new anime, what would you pick? And this is in all genres. So old romances too. So you would be
We're counting everything.
everything
on the line.
everything.
Gun to my head.
So basically old shit like Cowboy Bebop, Dragon Ball, Naruto, but Chobits, Fruits Basket, Ouran High School, right? And then like thriller, some horror mystery anime stuff like that. Like you get like Ghost in the Shell, and then like Serial Experiments Lane, Evangelion, and all that crap.
Dude.
And then like Gurren Lagann and all these classics, bro. And then versus new stuff like My Hero, JJK, and then you got Golden Time and Snafu,
Boruto.
Mighty Girl Senpai,
Dude.
and yeah. And that time I got reincarnated
As a slime. Yo. Oh my god. Damn. Gun to my head. Martians pointing at the earth.
Martian's pointing at the earth.
Last shot. I guess I'm going.
He goes Sailor Moon or Sailor Moon Chris. Oh,
No, I'm going with. Damn. I'm going with. Ooh, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say. I'm gonna say old gen, really, and even though I wasn't around for most of it, I like the extreme themes that they have, and I kind of like the side characters a little bit better in the old gens that I have watched. And I just think that they were able to go along the extremes, and most of them did it really well. Really well. And so I feel like if I'm dying on any hill, it's gonna be the old gen one.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking, it's like pick 10 years, like 2011 to 2021, or 2001 to 2011. Like, which would I prefer?
The reason why I didn't pick new gen, even being like a recent like anime watcher, I've only been watching for what, like maybe 2 years, not even, is because like being like the anime that everybody compares themselves to, clearly there has to be some good reasons as to why everything's being compared to that anime, right? Like fight scenes get compared to Dragon Ball fight scenes. You have side characters being compared to like Naruto side characters, and I mean pretty much everything about Naruto gets compared to everything. But like you have all these duplicates, and you have all these like pretty much these like templates of just a little bit mixed around elements of Naruto. Like you really kind of see how iconic and influential these old gen animes are. I can't really say much about One Piece, but I know a lot of people who have like read all of the Bleach and Naruto and Dragon Ball, and they like it's like one of those things that like they preach to you to watch and read because it's original, and it has these themes and dynamics and complexes that at that time were one of the greater complexes, really, and you kind of just see that happen over and over again now.
Yeah, I feel like this whole discussion, old versus new anime, this could be said, like a lot of the same stuff could be said about like movies and TV shows and video games and stuff like that, and even music.
It's more of a generic old gen versus new gen type of thing.
I feel like there was a lot more like back then. I feel like back then there was a lot more like artists. There's a lot more people who made stuff to say a message, you know. Because I feel there's like a lot more like philosophical times, a lot more like, you know, because it was like a series we just came out of like in the 90s and stuff. We were coming out of like, you know, like economic depression, and then like a lot of wars and stuff like that. And then in 2000 you had, you know, all those terrorist attacks, and so there's a lot of shit going on. Now things have like, I mean, taking, you know, the pandemic out. Now I think like recently the 2010s were mainly like kind of peaceful. So a lot of stuff was just kind of written and animated to like just entertain. So I feel like a lot of shows, a lot of stuff now is written to like entertain. A lot of stuff back then was written to like convey a message. So that's why, um, yeah, I'm gonna go with the old gen. Old gen. It's just like, cause yeah, a lot of new gen now. I feel like it's just to like entertain. That's why there's so much more anime out there. People just want to just like, cause there's just more of like a need to just, oh, let's just make something for the sake of it, and then who cares if it doesn't stand out, who cares if it doesn't have like its own message, as long as it follows the formula, as long as it's solid, doesn't then we're set. Whereas back then, people were willing to take risks for their stories, you know, as long as you could really feel what like the writer, the author was like going for. So that's what I'm going for. But I mean, both have the pros and cons. I like new anime now because like my time is being more respected, whereas old anime like they like to drag out their they drag scenes out, better animation. And so
I won't forget the the Land of Waves where they're staring at each other for like 3 or 4 episodes. That's when I first watched it, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why are they just staring at each other? Like it was something that was so new to me because I'm so used to like cartoons and TV shows kind of just getting into it, instead of like having these well drawn out like kind of like episodes of just thought processes and like predicting other people's moves and stuff. It's very interesting.
I know a lot of people hate like remasters and remakes and stuff like that and like reboots, but I feel like as long as the original author's intent is still there and nothing is being cut out that harms what the message was going for, that I think there's no harm in cleaning up visuals, making them more solid, making the pacing flow better. Bro, I wish like every old anime had like today's like animation, bro. Especially like you probably haven't heard of it. Have you ever heard of Great Teacher Onizuka? No, a good ass comedy, slice of life anime, but man, the animation is shit. The sound design is so ass, but the story is so good. So if that came out this year, say with like Yu Yu Hakusho, that came out this year.
I want to see that rebooted. I want to see you. I've never seen Yu Yu Hakusho.
Give Yu Yu Hakusho Hunter's animation, and it's gonna be immediately goated. Immediately.
I haven't seen Yu Yu Hakusho, but that's like one of those things that like that's actually on my watch list. As old as it is, just because like I want to understand where that came from and kind of like where all that originated from.
So basically, comes down to there's no clear answer. Everything has its pros and cons.
Everything, it's really more just like your preference.
Just preference, and which sucks. Like I hear a lot of new anime fans, they don't want to watch stuff like Cowboy Bebop and Ghost in the Shell and all these like amazing classics. They're just like, oh, why would I watch anything that's hand drawn? I'm like, fuck you, bro. Hand drawn is better than digital, but
yeah, I have beef with CGI. Sometimes they be messing up CGI so bad.
But it's just like, no, I've seen some people's like, oh, I don't want to watch that. That's old. And I'm like, dude, what are you fucking talking about? And that shit pisses me off because like you're just because you're so close-minded about how something looks, you're missing out on something great while you're just watching the same isekai trash. Oh, but it looks pretty.
Oh my god, people that are closed-minded and don't like to explore and diverse themselves really like make me mad. Like it's one thing if you try something and you don't like it, like at least you gave it a try.
Mm-hmm.
But like like me, like being on TikTok, I'm kind of like that one person who likes romance over shonen. Like that's just me.
Oh yeah, like I think out of all my friends, I got into romance anime way before most of them.
But like, dude, the amount of hate I get, and like, it's funny because most of the people who like hate and stuff are not even the ones that have ever tried watching it. It's more of just like, oh, I'm not gonna watch that cringe shit. But it's like being arrogant in that sense just like makes me so mad. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna conclude this episode. There was not really any clear answer, but you got to kind of hear us go back and
This
forth.
is just for a chill discussion. Yeah.
It was good to have, but next week's about to
week's
get
gonna be a
real
heated debate.
serious. Next week's about to get real serious. Yeah, it's been the Two Shonen. Thank y'all for watching, and we'll catch y'all later. Peace out.